Call the meeting to order, the Griggs County Commission. February 3rd, 2017. Stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. John. Dale. Ron. Sean. Bryce here. Okay, approval of the agenda. Any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
There is another handout that you have on your pile of stuff. The sheriff's department would like to add the windshield to the sheriff's vehicle windshield to the agenda.
Is somebody coming to talk about it?
No, I have a lot of the information.
It says customer pays zero and the insurance pays everything, so we don't have to pay anything. But okay, we can talk, I guess, that we're glad the insurance will pay for it all.
So you want that after the water board, or where do you?
Under info to be addressed when time allows is fine.
Okay.
Snow removal. Let's see if we can make it on here. Could we add that to the agenda?
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that when we're talking to the road superintendent. Same place?
Sure. Any other additions or corrections to the agenda? You want that?
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be on there. The other thing that I think we should add to the agenda under the bills is a brief look at the sheriff's overtime budget and how that's progressing year to date, and whether or not we're going to have enough funds to follow through with that.
Okay, anything else? Motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the agenda with the 3 additions: sheriff's overtime, snow removal, and windshield.
Been moved by Ron to approve the agenda with the 3 additional items. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we'll review the minutes from the January 20th meeting.
Top of page 3, second sentence, there was discussion on the progress the county wants to take the old courthouse down. I think it should probably read, there was discussion on the process the county wants to take concerning the future of the old courthouse.
Same with the last sentence too.
Yeah, the commission would like the sheriff's office to discuss with the historical society the process that needs to be taken concerning the old courthouse. We don't know what the process is, no matter what we do with it, whether or not we try to sell it, rent it out, tear it down. It is still.
Okay. So there was discussion on the process that the county wants to take concerning the old courthouse.
The future,
The future of
of
the old
The
courthouse.
future. Okay, and then meet with the historical society on the process that needs to be taken concerning the
Or
old.
it could just be hands with hook to meet with the historical society, and that should be enough.
I agree.
Okay, okay. Okay, sounds good.
Didn't we ask Jamie to look into our options with that CD?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know what to do next.
I couldn't find anything in there as far as the legal precedent for it. I mean, the closest you could find was a gift, but.
Well, that's what it was.
Well, it was a gift with stipulations, or just was covering the interest. I don't know. I think we should give it back to him and be done with it. But, talk about that later.
But you're gonna add that we asked Jamie to look at it.
Okay, the commission asked State's Attorney Tennyson to look into the county's options.
Sounds right to me.
I think in the paragraph about the building authority, I don't, the commission wants to keep the building authority separate from the county. That isn't a want. It is not possible to have it anything but separate.
It isn't it.
Yeah.
Okay, where is that?
Right in the middle, Chairman open the floor to discuss the 2016 audit. Auditor Larson was asked by the auditor to ask the county commission if they wish to leave the building authority part of the 2016 audit. That should probably be the end of it. Because, I mean, we don't have, we can't, the reason, the purpose of the building authority was just that, it had to be a separate entity from the government, because the government wasn't given permission to issue the bonds.
You could probably say the commission wants to follow the law.
Well, I think that's really what.
Or just leave,
I think
or just leave in there, building authority is separate from the county.
I think it should just say the building authority is separate from the county.
Yeah, not the commission wants to keep.
That's fine.
You know.
I mean, it is, you know, and
We can't change reality,
no,
no matter what we want.
no,
The building
but a slight
authority
dose
is
of
separate.
slight dose of sarcasm doesn't hurt to emphasize it, right?
Always try.
Okay, so the building authority is separate from the county. That's what we want to say?
Still.
By law, the authority is separate from the county, but that's fine.
Or you just put a big no on it.
Oh, the CD got brought up again later, and that's when it says that the state's attorney was asked to look into the options.
That's right, because he wasn't here when we were discussing it
So
first.
should I leave that? So
Yeah.
take out this?
Yeah,
Here it is.
I was gonna say, I thought I put that in there,
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie wasn't.
he got here after we talked about it.
Where Chairman Olson opened a new courthouse, old courthouse, and his discussion on the work Schultz was doing, that really doesn't tell anybody anything. You don't know who Schultz is, so
Where's it at?
about 2/3 of the town.
Oh, yeah.
On page 3.
Yeah. On the work Schultz Plumbing and Heating. New chairman also opened the floor to old courthouse, new courthouse. There was discussion on the progress of Schultz Plumbing and Heating concerning the new courthouse.
say that again.
Oh,
There was discussion on,
the progress. Let's see.
Chairman Olson did a lousy job running that meeting. We were all over the board on audio. How many times does it say there's a discussion on the new courthouse, old courthouse? 1, 2.
There was discussion on the work performed by the heating and cooling contractor on that song.
say that one more time.
On the work being performed by the.
I think the discussion was the timeline that it was gonna be done, because I had talked to him that day, and he was gonna be here last week, and he didn't make it. He called me this week and said, sorry, I didn't make it. I'm gonna
And he called
be
me,
there.
and he called me today, he called me this morning and said they were gonna be here, it should be finished up by tonight, for the most part.
I saw them here yesterday.
Oh, so they have been here now this week.
Oh, he was just about done, he said, well, we can talk about that later.
Okay, so there was discussion on the work,
The timeline
the timeline, okay.
of the work performed by the heating and cooling contractor.
Timeline.
You probably didn't get us off track, Troy, it was probably us that was off track, the way it seemed, we're starting off that way, no,
Yeah, I'm just gonna start mentioning Hope Black, so I figure I better wait.
Short attention spans we have.
Right, honey.
Anything else in the minutes?
No, I move to approve the agenda as modified. and
The minutes?
dispense with the reading.
The minutes, you said agenda.
I meant minutes.
Thank you.
Ron has moved to approve the minutes as amended and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Bills.
Looks like the budget's still aren't in this report.
Nope, and I wasn't gonna put them in until I knew what you guys wanted to do with software wise. Cause I wasn't gonna put all the budget amounts and then if we switch software, then I'd have to do it again, so I was just gonna kind of,
Yeah, you better do it. I mean, the time, even if we decide to switch today, the timeline would be 3 months.
More than that,
Yeah.
according to that guy from Tyler Technologies.
They better do it.
They'll take most of the rest of the year.
okay, so I'll go ahead and put
And
this.
just, another thing just for your information. Typically, when you do a software conversion, you're not gonna have to rekey everything. They're gonna you'll set up your general ledger, and then they'll create some kind of flat file that will populate the new software. You're not gonna have to sit and rekey all those numbers in.
Okay,
So, I mean, I'm every software conversion I've been involved in, that's how it went.
okay. I'll go ahead and do that then next
Okay.
week.
Page 3, maybe even,
Page 3.
Page 7, right?
page 7, yeah, page 3 of the bill.
Okay.
Explain to me the soil conservation, the money we give them, $9,700.
Yeah, I forget. The soil insurance reserve and the soil insurance.
That's just the tax money that we get in for the soil conservation, then we pay it out.
They're a separate agency, kind of like the garrison or something. And do we levy half a mil? Is that what it is? I can't remember anymore. 1 mil, I
I
think.
think 1 mil,
And then the insured reserve.
right?
It seems like by law, we levy 0.05 mils or something.
Something like that, yeah.
I can
But
check
this is
that
just the
out.
tax money. I just treat this as the same as like the hospital district and the historical society and those.
So that money goes to the NRCS or something? What's the,
Soil Conservation District,
To where?
just Soil Conservation District
In Griggs County.
in Griggs County.
Because there's a fellow that heads that. You told me.
Nathan Johnson.
What is it?
Nathan Johnson.
Nathan Johnson. I was gonna call him once, but I never.
oh, he's in the NRCS
Yeah.
office.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but he's not attached. He's not,
No, he's on one side, I think, and they're on the other.
well, they're in the same office, but,
Oh.
But I think the soil district is a special entity with its own books and
Yeah,
everything.
yes, they are.
They have their own board of directors.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure who they are or anything, but I'm just this one guy is all I ever heard of. I'm not
so
sure.
obviously they get other funding other than this.
I've never seen their books. I was gonna ask once or just talk to him to see just how that worked, but I never got around to it.
Huh. Okay.
What is, page 8, Otter Tail Power Company,
Which one?
page 8, Otter Tail Power Company,
Mm-hmm.
and then the general electricity, $2,500, most of that is, the jump in that has to come from heating that new courthouse, huh?
It's a part of it.
Well, we've always been heating the new courthouse.
You're right, but not, it hasn't, I mean, I haven't paid attention to it in the last 3 months, but I mean, that, unless, I'm trying, what is the cost to heat it? Evidently, it's $2,000 a month or so.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Some of these, I'm pretty sure, are the properties that we.
If you can find an off-peak rate, that should be the most costly.
Without floor heat, is it still mostly heating off peak?
Yeah, I'm sure the strip heaters in the, I know, I'm not sure, I know the strip heaters in the plants are off peak. And the heat pumps will be also, correct, Troy?
Yep, as far as I know.
But that doesn't take a lot of power, the heat
No,
pumps.
sure.
But the strip heaters are off peak and then the backup is propane.
Apparently we're not controlling it. That's why it's so expensive.
Not getting an off-peak rate because of the.
That GovernSoft payment, did that get put into the bills
What
or
was that again?
Say if we don't have the backup
it did not?
furnaces. or
Okay.
we'll
Can I
be
have
ready
you bring
for
that
the-
up, please?
No, that's
Sorry, we're not getting an off-peak rate at this time.
Okay, and if you make a new voucher, like,
I don't know.
actually, never mind, I'll deal with it.
What's that?
I was just making, no, that's okay. I was just making sure that it wasn't in the bills. Okay, thank you. Bye.
There's a graph on the back.
Oh, there's the dual fuel. Looks to me like the heating was $550. These other two services must be the general services for this building and that building. And one of them is $669 and the other one's $997.
Um,
Under the water management, are those the names of the legal drains? CT2 and KD1B, and is that how that works?
Project number.
Karnick drain and Cooper tile drain.
I thought the Karnick drain was
It's the old car, right?
TB04.
That's the new one.
Ah,
K1A is the old one.
Yeah.
K1A.
I don't know what K1B is.
They had one year when we had a special maintenance assessment for it. Besides the actual tile drain, that was 4 years ago maybe, 5 years ago.
I just,
Anyway.
K1A is not on here, that's what I was,
Yeah, it probably doesn't even need to be on the
it's not on here.
invoice anymore, but I mean, but you're saying it's showing up on the invoice? Oh, okay.
Oh, it doesn't need to be? That was the construction
No.
fund?
It must have been the previous,
So that's closed and now there's a maintenance fund? I'm trying to figure out how this works.
well, I think KD1B is the one that's being paid out now.
There's one here, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that's the original drain special assessment. And then they had a KD1A, I believe, that we used 1 or 2 years for a special when they had special maintenance. Anyway, we quoted them differently.
Okay,
We only get paid out if we collect it.
Only if you collect it from that group of farmers, is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and the water board tells you who to levy and how much, or how does that work? Okay, anybody else have anything?
Yeah, this isn't directly, it's gonna be a bill, but when I talked to Schultz this morning, he needs that propane tank filled. So he can test the system, so he can test.
There's nothing in it?
He said there's nothing in it.
Well,
He said, so I don't know, we need authorization to have that filled, and someone should call today so he gets filled up, so he.
do we have a bid? Do we need to bid that, or how does that?
I don't know that.
Yeah, we got money in the budget for it, right? I think.
No big goal.
Well, I mean, as for the first time anyway, for testing the system, I'm sure we can work bids up for that. Wayne, what's your thought on that, Wayne?
Well, I signed a contract with Harold
Okay.
because they had the best price. And I signed it for 8,000 gallons or something,
Okay.
whatever I estimated that we'd use.
Okay.
I wish we would have filled that thing last summer when propane was 70 cents.
Yeah, it's not very big anyway.
You could probably just call the two places, Town and Country and Harold, and get a price of the day like we usually do. And then next year.
Want to call Town and Country and Arrowwood and see which one has the lowest price on propane and order,
And have them fill the tank.
fill that tank out here.
Yeah.
That's a 1,000-gallon tank. It's gonna take 800 gallons.
Yeah. And I'd make a motion that we instruct the auditor to check on prices and have their own price for the tank.
Been moved by John. Have the auditor check the local propane vendors and choose the lowest price vendor to get the new courthouse propane tank filled. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second this.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron? Sean? And Troy votes aye. Motion carries. How about the rest of the bills?
Well, I mean, if we looked at the rest of the bills, but we added sheriff's overtime to the bills, the way it looks, huh?
And there is none in this?
Can't tell.
There is none. Because the account is it's 1,000.
It would be on the payroll side, and you guys don't see the accounts on there. It would be on this page.
Well, we have to see that.
You guys just see this as like how much on page 17. This is payroll. Because it's already been paid out, so you guys don't see it on, and so you guys won't see it on there.
We have to see it someplace.
It would be here. you don't see the accounts, you just see the amount.
We need to. That's what I'm getting
That
at.
that would be like the other. I've given it to you guys before on this sheet.
Right.
I've given you guys that before, and then we decided that we were just going to do this.
Well, no, any account that an employee's been being paid out of, a special account, that's how we have to keep track of it, because in the instance of the overtime account, how do we know then if it's gonna over? If it is fund.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it gets taken out of there.
But it should be.
But you guys don't see the accounts that those things get taken out of. It's just all right here.
I thought it would be in this.
No,
Okay.
no. Because those have already been paid and stuff like that. So then that would be another stack of which benefits they got and what accounts those went into when they got this earning and that earning. And it gets to be a pretty thick report, but I can.
But I mean,
The only way that you guys would be seeing that would be at when I give you guys the expense report after every month. You guys would then see it there. But since I don't have budget amounts, I didn't give you guys the expense or revenue or liability report this time because it doesn't really tell you much.
mhm. Well, that we need to have that, because there's no way to track the budget item unless you can tell how much it can be spent and how much is being spent. The amount is.
So do you want to start seeing this report again with all the employees' numbers and stuff like that? Or are you wanting me to give you the expense and revenue reports after every month?
Well, this is just a summarization. You must put this, is this print out or you have?
That's just a spreadsheet that populates.
This is just a summarization of what this can produce.
Right.
Okay, so you can just let the payroll be produced on this and then give us a summarization here. Because you can pretty easily see if someone is getting overtime by comparing this month's from last month. So if it's fluctuating, you know, they're not working the same, a set number of hours.
So just for your information, I talked to Lori this morning. So the overtime budget, there's 20,000 in there if you look in your budget book.
Yep.
We spent 2,300 in January. So we're over. I mean, we're not going to make the end of the year if that continues. The other thing that, because I was sitting at home last night looking at the asset liability reports. I took them home after the last meeting, could not find an account called overtime. So the reason that I couldn't find it is because it's not called overtime. The sheriff's department overtime budget or account is 4211-120, and it's called general hourly salary. I think that the general ledger should match the budget. I think that account should be renamed overtime so that if you're looking at that report, you can tell what you're looking at. Otherwise, it doesn't do me any good.
And I think that goes with the whole budget. The budget needs the software needs to match the budget.
The budget and the general ledger need to coincide.
And it says overtime in the budget. And it might be the same number, but we'll never look it up by number. It's by
Description.
description.
Yeah, I don't know the chart of accounts that well.
So, I mean, that goes throughout the budget. We have to make sure that those they match.
So
The one that kind of surprises me in here is, I don't see that Mickey Tanner Hendrickson was paid anything, and I thought I'd seen the car out there working,
Yeah, she hasn't been paid anything this year.
but she's
I
working.
have no idea.
Yeah, her car is there. Some of the guys that get the testings mention that they're getting the testing from her, but
Yeah, we don't pay her, so
I doubt if she's doing it free.
Doesn't that put the county at risk? I mean, if she's, whether or not we authorize her to be there, she's still at risk of, I mean, something happens to her, she's
Well, yeah,
working for the county, I mean,
If she workman's comp claim, she's not, apparently she's not being covered by workman's comp or any health insurance or anything else that.
Nope.
So she's not an employee of the county. Why do we have her doing testing? That's nuts.
I don't know, that's a question we have to ask of Bob, how is she doing this out of her goodness of her heart, or is there some other form of compensation?
You don't know at all, huh?
Nope, I don't keep track of that office, so.
What's
I
that?
don't keep track of that office,
All
so
right.
we don't pay her for payroll or anything. We haven't since the end of the year, so.
Which brings up the other point, if she's not an employee of the courthouse, what's she doing roaming around in public office by herself? And conducting public business?
She's got a key.
I have no idea. I didn't get any keys back from her, so.
What's
Unless
that?
I didn't get any keys back from her. So if Bob did, I don't know. I don't know that.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on there.
I suggested that we better find
I
out.
think we appointed you keeper of the keys, so I would suggest that you talk to Bob about that and get those keys back.
Okay.
And find out what's going on. This can't go on.
Well, he'll be at the next, I'll be having
I know.
him at the next meeting, so we
Yep.
can talk about it then, but.
Put it on the list. Anything else on the bills? Motion to approve.
The bills as presented.
Been moved by Sean that we approve the bills as presented. Is there a second to motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For that propane, if they're both the same amount, who would you like to go with?
Have to flip.
They won't be.
They won't be okay.
Flip a coin.
If you don't want to tie, when you first contact, tell them you're contacting them concerning the price of propane in town with the other, comparing with the other dealers. I guarantee one of them, if they were having the same price, one of them will undercut the other.
Okay.
But they won't be the same price. Some will, I mean, one will be cheaper one time. It depends what they got to load in.
Cash is gonna be a discount.
Yeah.
So since we authorized her to purchase it, can she pay for it too?
I don't know. It'll have to come up with the bills next month anyway. But I mean, it just depends on what the price of propane was when they got to transport in.
Monthly reports.
Just to refresh my mind on the recorded, we had 42 documents and the $3 goes into the general fund. And then it looks like the rest of it is exactly $24.50 times 42. I just don't remember that $24.50 being.
It varies.
Oh, that-
The document, the recording a document is $10 for the first page and $3 for each
Oh, okay.
additional page.
Oh, okay.
So if you got a 30-page mortgage, it's gonna be a certain amount, and if you got a deed that's only one page, it's gonna be different.
Oh.
So you can't really do an average deal.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's just going into the general.
Yeah,
One of them, the $3 goes to the document preservation fund,
Right.
yeah.
and the rest of it goes into the auditors, into the general fund, right?
General fund, we did away with the R fund, OUR fund.
It's just a screwy way to have it. The 126 and the 129, that adds up to the 1155. That's over here, but some of that is document preservation, and some of it's general fund. So this 1429 isn't the number that goes into the general fund.
No.
It's, you'd have to subtract, I guess it's fine. A little misleading, but,
Yeah, the 1,029 is in the general fund.
yeah. No, what?
1,029 in the general fund.
Or whatever, minus the 126, I guess. There must be the 1429 minus the 126, right?
That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think it is. But anyway, I think I understand it now, so at least it's.
Yeah, it is.
It's total minus the 129 that goes into the general,
Yeah,
or 126.
yeah, I think that's.
I hope. Could be 1320, 1303,
You know, the general fund.
yeah.
That's not right either. No. It's the 1,029 plus the 274 is for the general fund. $1,292, and then the 226 goes into the DPF fund, and that equals the 1,429. Right? Okay, the 274 goes in the general fund for sure.
Yeah,
The 126 plus the 1,029 equals 1,155.
yeah,
So all you gotta do is subtract out the 126
right.
from the 1,429. That's the amount of the general.
That's what I said,
Okay.
1303.
Yeah, that sounds,
Okay.
you're both saying the same thing.
Move to approve the office reports as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the office reports as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll make the motion, take that 10-minute break and let people come in here and get set up.
We're gonna open bids at 2.
Oh, no, I thought the next one was the county software, right?
It is, but not according to the, I mean, our bid opening was
Oh,
set up for 2 o'clock. So
okay. Yeah, we'll have overlap. Okay.
So, been moved by John, then we take a 10-minute recess. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Dale. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I'll just have to go back open.
And to open some bids.
Bid is for Gowan Construction out of Oslo, Minnesota.
Big deal.
34.
Bid bond is good. Contractor's license is good. Their bid is $298,089.91. $298,089.91.
And 91 cents? Okay, thank you.
This one is for Tom Gilbertson and Sons. Bid bond's good. Contractor's license is good. Bid amount is $422,773.00. $422,773.00. Next bid is for Central Specialties. Bid bond's good. Contractor's license is good. Central Specialties bid is $493,968.00. $493,968.00. Next bid is for Border States paving. Bid bond's good. Contractor's license is good. Bid amount $410,362.50. $410,362.50. Next bid is for Close Construction. Bid bond's good. Contractor's license is good. Their bid amount is $382,933.41. $382,933.41.
How do you spell that last one?
Close, C-L-O-S-E.
Thank you.
Sounds like-
That's what I wrote.
Next bid is from WMD Skaponiak. Bid bond is good. Contractor's license is good. Skaponiak's bid is $233,819.30. $233,819.30.
No.
Okay.
That's all.
6 of them.
So the apparent low bidder is WMD Skaponiak at $233,819.30.
Did you have an estimate?
Yep, engineer's estimate was $339,939. $339,939.
Thank you.
Thank you for your bids.
Thanks, Larry. Statement? No.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Do we have a speakerphone or do you want me to put it on my phone?
We do not have a speakerphone in this building.
Okay, that's fine. We'll get it figured out.
On the side, you should,
Yeah, it's over here.
oh, okay.
Do we finish with Wayne first so he doesn't?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
This is gonna take an hour.
Is it?
This is, right?
However long it takes.
All right.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Ring.
Yeah, you guys can finish up. I'll just call and make sure that they're online and then I'll just come back in.
Sure. So you can sit here, you don't have to.
But we have govern soft
Yeah.
2 to do.
What?
We have govern soft 2 too,
Right,
and I have them on hold too.
yeah. But you don't, you can sit here.
Okay, that's fine.
Motion to conditionally approve. William D. Pontiac.
So moved.
It's been moved by Ron
Pending review.
Pending review by the engineer.
to accept the Skaponiak bid.
What is the
Pending.
2 initials?
WM and then D.
William D. Skaponiak. Been moved by Ron to accept William D. Skaponiak's bid as the low bidder for the project we opened the bids on this morning or this afternoon, pending approval from our engineering firm. Is there a second to the motion? Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron? Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Okay.
Okay, so on the last 2 weeks ago bid, there was a small math error on Skaponiak's bid, who was the lowest bidder there too, but it did not change the rank of the bidder. The bid went up by $1,500. In our bid documents, there's a procedure to follow if there's math errors. And basically, it's just to do the math correctly, and then whoever's the lowest bid is still the winner of the bid.
Okay.
So today I have the notice of award and 3 standard forms of agreement for the commission to approve and sign if you're ready to award the project to Pontiac.
Jake, I bet you, and that's actually what I was gonna talk to you about, so I just talked to you about it now.
Okay.
Tom Gilbertson called and asked about that, about us accepting that bid since there was an error in it. First of all, since there's an error in that bid and they made that bid, why should we pay that extra $1,500?
In the bid document, it just says you use the unit prices that are on the bid, even if there was a math error, multiplication error, which the bid price was $1,500. It was their contract bond.
Okay.
And I reviewed the contract, and that is correct.
Okay, and that's all I wanted to know because Tom had asked me about it. I told him I'd check in with you guys and so I know what the deal is. Now, one thing, I guess there's one other thing that Tom brought up, and of course it's the benefit of the county, and Tom knows that too, but just for Tom's information, he wanted to know, since they had the error in that bid, there's something in the DOT documents that states if a bid is incorrect, that it shouldn't be accepted. Do you know anything about that?
No, I actually, because our bid docs are a little different than DOT's for these
Okay.
state funded projects, because DOT doesn't look at them. But I did go through the DOT spec book too, after I talked to John, just to see how they proceed, and I couldn't find anything in their spec book on map errors.
Okay, Tom called me and asked me, so I told him I'd inquire with you and find out. And Tom knows it's his benefit to the county, and he knows that. I mean, I think he'd rather see the county save money than get the bid too. So he just had some questions about it, and I wanted those answered for him.
Okay. Would you guys like to send this notice of award?
Sure.
Been moved by John to send out this notice of award to William D. Skowaniak on the last bid opening that we did. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay, and here is the notice of award. And then there's 3 contracts here in this. We need your signature and also the auditor's signature.
Anything else? Good.
That's all for me. That's all I have.
One more thing on here for Wayne was the snow removal around this building. Can we get a little more done?
Around the building. As long as we don't damage anything.
I mean, can't we just put the road department in charge of snow removal there? I mean, man, it doesn't look very good. There's a little snow over there, it looks like it looks fine. There's one passing me down the sidewalk and that was it. And we gotta clean that up, we gotta get it cleaned up. And it's easier to have you tell people what to do than have us tell people what to do.
So how about that skid steer? But remember about that FEMA money, we agreed to spend that money on a piece of equipment. I mean, that was part of the deal of keeping money, either the month, send the money back through FEMA or spend it on some type of equipment or fix it.
I'd forgotten that, but I'm sure you didn't.
I had to.
So, I mean, even if,
How much is it?
I don't remember, you know, there was the 2011 and the 2009.
Right.
And then we got, the road department got $5,000 back, the last 3%. But I was just wondering if it'd be okay just to put out an advertisement for a bid?
We did that.
We did, twice.
Twice.
No, not on a piece of equipment.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know if we want any more equipment. We got payloaders and loader tractors.
If I come in there with a payloader, those little cement things out there with the light bulbs on, aren't gonna be there. Because you can't get in between the building and those posts on that little island that comes.
No, but a guy
out
can
there.
blow the sidewalk off and back drag it out, the parking lot.
So we're supposed to come up here and blow the snow out here before we go out and put the roads in, or what? Ryan usually goes up here before work starts, and that's when he cleans, before 7 o'clock, he's up here and cleans the courthouse. So,
What are your wishes, fellas?
Well, I mean, I think it's senseless for us to hire someone outside to come and clean the snow when we're carrying that business. If that little snowblower won't do the job, which it appears like it does, then maybe we need a bigger walk there and snowblower, I don't know. But this shouldn't be an issue, I mean, it can't take too long to do that, can it? I mean, a big snow will, but.
as long as it snows every day, I mean, it takes a while,
Yeah.
you know, like it was for a while.
Right, but I mean, there hasn't been anything done since then, the same path that was blown 6 weeks ago was
I
still
don't
there.
have anything.
I know you were in charge of it.
I don't have anything to do with that.
But that's the point, I think the road department should, but.
I think we should, but.
Well, nobody else has been on this discussion before, so the rest of you guys think about it. Okay. Anything else?
One question
Yeah.
on this True North deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
we used to put out a bid for culverts. And well, there used to be like 3 or 4 different candidates. Then True North was bought out Fargo Steel and I can't remember the other one. So they went together. And then we had Gilbertson got contact. And they were always cheaper. And when we did do these bids, most of the time we put in there that it was, we could accept any and all bids.
Oh, so you could do a
So
portion
we could
here.
do
and a
either
portion
one.
there.
If somebody was cheaper than somebody else, we could go to them, buy that culvert. We didn't have to just stick under one.
You didn't have to be exclusive.
So if you want to put that, if you want to do that, ask for bids, or you just want to get a quote. We're just getting quotes from Gilbertson, and they just send in the same size of culverts to these guys. And if they want to put a quote in,
That letter is written so poorly, I didn't exactly know what they were trying to sell.
I didn't either.
Unless you do what True North did,
they want, well, most places they advertise for culverts and they have a bid. We used to do it fuel, and of course,
Yeah.
fuel got so up and down, nobody wanted to give a low price, so you always got a high price, so you went to bid of the day. But you could do the same thing for culverts.
Sure.
I can do that, I can just request a
Price sheet.
price sheet,
Right. Okay.
I'll do that. Hopefully it won't snow anymore, so they won't. Thank you, guys.
Hey, wait.
See you later, Wayne. Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
I'll put these guys on the speaker.
I have
Dawn, can you hear me?
I've gone soft too. That's
Dawn, can you hear me?
It should be after this,
okay.
because.
Yeah, can you? I can't hear you very well. You're gonna have to get off speaker. Jamie, are you there?
Okay. Try to make this as loud as I can. All right, there you go. All right, I'll put you guys in the middle. You guys are sitting in the middle of the table. Cool. All right. I'm Joe with Tyler, and I got the senior developer for our TaxWise system is on the line, and our sales consultant for the financial software, IVE. I'll speak up. I wasn't exactly sure what your guys' goal is today. I know you guys invited us to come out and talk to you guys a little bit, and we spoke a little bit on the phone, and I got some information for you as far as reporting and things like that, but we're kind of wide open for you guys. If you guys have any questions about us and where you guys your plans are here in Griggs County, and kind of see where we're at. So I'm kind of opening it up to you guys. Just to kind of give you a background on who we are. We are, as you guys know, Kelly has us with both the Document Pro and the Odyssey system, and those are two separate systems, and they're a little bit different than what we do now. But the overall structure of Tyler is all the same. You know, we do the updates 4 times a year. We do have the support and all the resources back into each one of the product lines, just like Document Pro and Odyssey. We also, currently there are 10 counties in North Dakota running this software. We have Hittinger, Towner, Billings, Grand Forks, Burley, Slope. So anywhere from Stark County up to small counties to the largest counties. So, and all running the exact same systems. The only what we do is we believe in, rather than trying to customize each individual location, we just build it in a table-driven type software where you by selecting different things within the system, you make the system react differently. So that way it can fit in a small county and a large county at the same time and be robust enough to work in both locations. So pricing is tiered that way. We don't chart, we're definitely not going to put together what pricing would cost for Burley County or Grand Forks is not what you guys would have to pay, things like that. So it's tiered level pricing. So I don't know, I'll open this up for you guys. If you guys have any questions to our software people, our experts there in line, I'll go ahead and start passing these reports around so you guys can kind of
Did you say Benson or Wells or somebody has it?
Benson.
Somebody close?
Yep, Benson does.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
So the pricing, what is the low on the smallest county, what's the high and the biggest county?
Population of Griggs County is 2,260.
You guys are gonna land just pretty much the same as Foster. Foster Carrington is looking at us right now. They have a proposal and it was around 171 total. But that includes software, conversion, training, implementation for both products. And it includes also the soil conservation for your tax director and the
includes
web portals. Well, actually it includes, we have a module for tax. It's built in, it's the soil module. So it can actually impact your tax director too. Right now I believe you guys are probably doing your soils classifications within GovernSoft, a lot of the counties were. And that's the reason why we built it within TaxWise, so that we could accommodate those counties that are doing that. So they don't, so when we replace it, we replace all of it. That way you don't have to maintain different softwares. That also included the like the web portals. We have web portals like this isn't something you have to do, it's just something that's available, where you can actually have your stuff, like say your taxes online, and you even have them pay it online if you wanted to go as far as that. We have that ability too.
But it's an additional cost for that?
Yeah, but you can do, the nice thing about Tyler is that those things can be done later. Say you implement TaxWise now, and then later on you guys, okay, now the next step we want to do is put it online and have them pay for it online. We can then do that later on.
So then what's the annual fee then for that?
Both products was right around $17,900, but that's for maintenance fees. Now, that's not just, but you're not just getting the ability to call. Kelly can attest to this down there. We also do, that also includes all the updates and upgrades that come out. We do 4 a year, 1 each quarter. We do webinars and training scenarios where people can call in and they get trained on what's coming. So they're not, and then even if they miss that, they have the ability online through our Tyler community to go back out there at any time and review what's coming. It's all recorded and set out there for them. They also have access to what we call Tyler Community, and that's a web formal or a web portal, or more of a place where people can go and talk to other people that are using our software, same software. So they can, a forum where they can talk to other people using it. There's videos, training, all kinds of stuff out there. There's a wealth of information out there for them at their fingertips. That's part of that. It's just all part of the maintenance fees. So it's not just the ability to do support and call. It's also everything else that we do. We also invest heavily back into the client. So.
What do you mean you invest heavily back in?
Well, a lot of the maintenance fees all going back into development, so that our system continually, what we call, in better sense of a phrase, is we believe it's alive, in the sense that it's always being evolving and always getting better all the time. Okay. We also believe in a philosophy called evergreen, where once you buy the software from Tyler, you never have to buy the software again. You buy it and license it. If we change the platforms, you would get credit for what you did, and then you could apply it to the next software, and you basically have to just pay for your training services, people's time. And the majority of all the costs involved is actually people's time. There's a lot behind the scenes where we don't just grab your software and go, okay, we'll be out here next week and we'll install one next week. It's a whole process where a project manager is put in place where they're overall in charge, and there's certain milestones and everything set in place about deliverables like the software and the conversion and things like that move into place.
So being we have Tyler software in-house here, is there a discount for that, or can it be added on to, or is it so totally separate?
It's separate. Yeah. Same with when they got bought DocuDeck or Document Pros. It's just their separate software. It's basically they're two different. They're not supported by the same people. I mean, there's experts within each one of those areas. So.
So, what's driven these other counties to switch?
Well, there's a couple of reasons.
I mean, there's a huge
reason.
Price. We got a huge price.
There is. We can do some things with you on that. We have the ability to work with possibly spreading the costs out over time. We can do a little bit of that with you guys. So it's not all a big, huge ticket right up front. Also, one of the main reasons why we're seeing it, I believe there's two main reasons why we're seeing a lot of changeover. We've gotten probably 6 or 7 coming from this particular software. Counties that run this particular software. One is the fact is that Tyler is the largest company that just does specifically to public sector software, schools, municipalities, cities, and counties. And that's all we do. And where we have a huge wealth of resources available. And I know a lot of people are extremely worried the fact is the government software is basically 2 people. You have one support guy and you have the programmer who lives in California, where at any time something could literally happen to either one of those, and you guys are then scrambling. And a lot of the counties are rather be proactive than reactive, because if something happened to them, then all those counties that are on that particular software are going to be looking at the exact same time. And it takes time to move counties across. Here's some of the reporting. It's right here. I'll just hand out some of the different ones. In fact, actually, I think some of these will play a role today. This is the General Ledger on-demand report. The expenditure report. Okay. So I think you guys were actually talking about one of those today. Here's our treasurer cash for summary report. This is what they get from the treasurers. This here's a fiscal on-demand report. It actually shows the spread out over the 2015 and 2016 fiscal year for budgets.
This is all one.
Some of those are,
Oh,
yeah, it's all one report. I'm separating them as I hand them out. And here's an earnings report for they crossed out the employee. These are our I think they're all the same here. Yep. Delinquent reminder, those are statements. These are some delinquent reminder notices. And tax statement samples. There you go. These are just a sample of some of the reports you could get from both product lines. One, you guys have the tax software. These are the ones that come out of tax, and the other ones that come out of the financials. And there's literally hundreds of reports on both ones, but they're only going to have like half a dozen or to a dozen that actually impact your county. Within our software, we have the ability, especially in the financial area, well, not actually especially, but both, we have the ability to, a lot of counties really love it because you can actually export the data out to Excel. Let's say for budgets purposes, you could export the data out to the department heads, have them look at their own budgets, do the changes, and send it back and import right into the software. Without having to do a lot of double key entries and entries. That really helps save time and
Sorry, take this and look at
human
this.
error.
Colin, do you want to look at this?
This is just some, a little bit of information about the software itself. Oh, I should have just handed those out one time. This is the tax software. This is the iTax portal. If you guys want to take a look at it, Stutzman's using it. Grand Forks is using it. A lot of the counties are. You can just take a look at those counties if you want.
This all mine?
That's all yours.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to.
Yep.
Pass it on.
Did you guys have any specific questions that might be, or sales consultants, or not sales consultants, but Don and Gene might have some input for you guys if you might need? If you guys have formulated any questions at this time yet? I know I'm giving out you guys a lot of information, but I think that's what you guys wanted me here for.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's the import line or column?
You know, that'd be a question for them. I don't even know. Jamie? Jamie?
Yes.
Yes, we got a question here on, we're looking at the
Budget comparison.
budget comparison
I
report.
can't hear you.
Okay, I'll bring it over here. Hold on.
Here.
The question is we're looking at the budget on demand report, and it shows import. And so you have 2015 budget, 2016, and then there's an import. Is that from prior to the system?
Where does it say the word import?
Up on top, it'll say it's up on the very top.
Column header.
Column header. You got on-demand report, print act, accounts with zero balance. You got fiscal year 2015 budget, 2016, and then import. And they're all, FTE's all zero, and then you got some numbers. Are those, I'm curious,
No.
Go ahead.
We don't have anything in the provisions that denotes import. If those are budget columns, they might have named that one of their budget columns import.
Yeah, they correspond to the exact same amount as on the fiscal year 2016. They're the same numbers.
Okay. Yeah, that wouldn't, so you can name your individual budgets whatever you want. So most likely they just named one of their budgets that.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, and this is just a small sampling of the reports, like I said, but these are ones that I actually spoke to one of their counties, Billings County yesterday, and said, what ones would you feel are impact that you want to take the commissioners with the most impactful? And these are the ones that she selected. You know, a good one's your expenditures, another one's your budget, another one's your earnings. You know, so you can look at what in fact, I was just sitting up there, I heard you guys mention at least 2 of these reports that I'm showing you right now. Expenditures and earnings, just while I was sitting out there. Did you have any questions, Connie?
Is the ITAX wise, the portal part of
It can be,
the
or
packet?
it can be.
Or that would be additional?
It will be additional, yeah. Because a lot of counties, some of the counties don't want it,
Uh-huh.
and some counties do. So even in that area, there's 2 pieces of it. One is you can have the ITAX to just display the information,
Mhm.
and then there's another piece, layer of that, where you can actually pay it. Have the ability to pay, and that's an additional piece, because not all, some counties want to show it, but they don't want to have people pay it. They just want it for display purposes.
So can you go more in depth into the pricing structure on this? There must be a starting.
Well, yeah, I can, basically how it works is the number of parcels. What I need to know to actually complete the proposal is number of parcels you guys do, the number of employees, and then of course what modules you guys want. Do you guys do you want the ITAX or do you not want the ITAX? We have a web portal for the Vision software, which is an employee self-service software that allows the employees to go out and look at their own stuff, that are, county stuff. You can enter leave requests through the web portal that actually get routed through the department heads to finally the person that says yes. And all that stuff. It's the nice thing is anything that they change or do out there enters into the financials through there, and there's no double key entry. Let's say they make a change of address that actually goes through a workflow approval queue. Say, okay, this looks good, and then boom, and it updates the system. It doesn't just automatically hit it and update it.
Do you remember,
So,
you know how many parcels we have, Connie?
It's about 5,200, I don't know exact.
But I mean, what is the cheapest system you have in place in North Dakota and the most expensive? Give us a range.
most expensive ones would be Williams.
That is
They're looking at that. They're looking at about 440,000.
Okay.
What their proposal or contracts at right now, down to about 160.
And what do you get for 160? Do you get ITAX?
I'd have to look.
Okay.
That's a conversion fee.
That's not a conversion fee. That's the web portal.
That's the software itself.
That's a software module.
That's access to the software module.
That's access to online for people to look online at the
So
stuff.
this is a software as a service.
You can have it as well. No, I know what you're saying. You're saying SaaS, but no. This is typically they're almost all on premise. We don't have anybody that are SaaS right now on here in North Dakota. What it is allows you to do a web portal where you can send your information from TaxWise out to a web portal where people, your people here in the county can look up their taxes online.
So then this, using the cheapest one would be $160,000 initial fee, and then $17,000 a
Around
year?
16. I think they landed about 16,000 per
Per
year.
year.
Mhm.
And there's no expiration date on
What do you mean?
the software. I mean, that's
The maintenance
buy it now,
contract?
30 years from now, it's still, you don't have to pay for any updates on it?
Well, your maintenance fee is actually doing all the updates. That's all included in your maintenance fee. So you're not just getting support, you're also getting any updates or upgrades. Anything that's mandated by the state, or like when they did all that tax statement changes, what they're gonna do again, that's all part of that. So you don't have to repay that. You don't
And
pay
the
extra.
160 is a lump sum upfront fee, or
$160,000.
is that prorated over a number of years?
We can probably set it up that way, both. They usually like it up front, but we do work with a company that can actually spread it out over years, up to 5 years. So, but I can see if I can do, there's some other things that I may go work for you guys.
Well, we can't do that anyway.
Yeah, you guys can do it. That's,
With people.
No, I know that. I'm just making a
That was
cost.
the price just for the web-based?
no, that was
Oh,
everything.
that was everything.
Everything.
Okay.
That included everything. I think 170 includes everything. I think they're getting iTax too.
Oh,
I
really?
think so.
Do you have a price without the I?
What I would do is I'll put that all together for you. What I do is, well, I'll come back. My next step for you guys is I will go back and next week I will put together a quote for you guys based on the conversations. What I'll do is I'll put it together with iTax in there, and you'll see the price. And it's just a matter of removing that price.
It's all a cart then?
Yeah, it's all covered.
So we'll see what each piece costs.
And I will include the soils and for soil classification, the mobile home appreciation, and then the financial piece. And that's, I won't include the iVision's well portable. That's might be a little bit too much for you guys at this time. That's what that is. That's the employee self-service, which allows you to go out online and for your employees. Some of those are very.
We don't need to do that. We got, how many employees do we have? 20? 35.
Yeah, you don't need that. No.
And they're all
That'd
gonna
be
be under
overkill.
that roof pretty soon, so.
Yeah, so that'd be no overkill for you guys. So I'll remove that. So.
So amortizing the initial investment out over 20 years at 4%, 3.5%, yields $11,135.28 a year. Add that to the fee, it amounts to about $27,000 a year. Is what the actual cost over a 20-year period. Anything over that, then you would drop down to whatever the yearly cost was.
I will include the iTax, but that way you can remove that. The other things that I'm going to recommend you don't get rid of, you're definitely going to want to do soils and mobile home. You know, but the iTax is probably one you're going to want to, if you want to get rid of anything, that'd be good. I won't include mobile homes, or not mobile homes, but the iVisions. So financials. I'll do the fixed assets stuff like that, which is pretty standard. So I'll just do what we normally do for a standard proposal for most counties, and that will be, I'll get the numbers out to you guys as soon as I can.
Okay, that sounds good. The other huge piece of this puzzle that I don't have the answer to today is, I think there's going to be a huge savings from a server standpoint, because I think the Dakota Programs runs on an AIX box, which is a proprietary, right? Am I right there?
I don't know.
I think it,
Yeah, I don't know.
because it's COBOL, right?
Well, part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that server is it's a proprietary piece of hardware that nothing else runs
These guys
on.
probably can't even hear it. I have everything on top of it.
So whatever the annual cost of having that thing is going to
Can
be,
mitigate some of the costs, yeah.
because I believe, if I understand this correctly, this piece of software that you guys are selling can be virtualized right on our IBM server, right?
I don't know about IBM. No.
I mean, not IBM, I mean our Windows server.
Yes, Windows servers, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, IBM is, that's the
AIX box is an IBM server.
So.
Right. But I mean, they're
Yeah,
40,
those things are
50,000.
50, yeah, they're leased.
So if you're replacing it every 10 every 5 years to 6 years, they're 10 grand a year just to own one, plus the maintenance costs. So
SQL servers are about a quarter of that, typically.
right.
And that number is in we pay that to Travis Paul?
No,
Or do
we buy those as we need to.
but it must be in the IT budget, isn't it?
It is when it has to happen.
Okay.
I think the county had just bought one when we got in office, isn't that correct? I mean, it was pretty new. It seems like there was a discussion that in 2013 about a huge expenditure, and I think it was the new server that went in the court.
Now, who do you guys use right now for your IT?
Just a local guy from Fargo that.
What I will do is when I send out this, I will include what we call a statement of work, which is actually all specifications on what we do for implementation, along with all the hardware specifications.
We need to know what the requirements are so we can.
That's all in there.
We got to put our heads together with him and find out what this is going to do for us.
Right.
Because I think that's a pretty big piece of this puzzle in the end.
Yeah, perfect. But I will include that with that's pretty standard with the proposals. We send that with it. So you guys can see how everything was actually outlined both for both products. And how we set everything up for implementation project timelines and milestones and all that kind of stuff.
Have you ever done a cost benefit savings comparing your software to GovernSoft?
I have not.
For these other entities?
Not. Now, not that I haven't, but I believe Stark County did that. I think she did that. That's when she chose Tyler over, because she did some cost comparison over all the other products within the state of North Dakota to choose which one was the best for her county. And so she did that. And
You know
I
those
think
folks
Brad
out
might
there?
be working.
I don't know them personally. But
Brad might be working on it too. I would touch base with Brad Foster. He's working on that for them too. That's another caveat.
He's the auditor over there?
He's the auditor, yeah.
Where did he come from?
Foster came from Carrington, but just kidding. No, he actually was in Stutzman for a while as the treasurer, and then he was hired as the auditor last year in Foster County. That's Solberg.
I thought he was the deputy auditor for a different county.
Stutzman. That's Stutzman. He was treasurer. He was actually the acting treasurer in Stutzman County, and he was hired as the auditor here in Foster.
He was up in Williams County.
No, he was in Watford. He was in Watford.
Watford City.
That's
Mackenzie County.
Mackenzie. Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Yes, that's-
You were saying Stutzman.
Oh, no, I was totally wrong.
That's in James.
Other side of state. No, yeah, Mackenzie County, he was there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry.
No, I couldn't remember which one. It was up that way.
I knew the city, I forgot the county. That's great. Usually it's the other way around. When you start dealing with counties, you forget the cities.
He's a native of Foster County?
He's from Carrington, yeah.
Oh.
So he was happy to be back. I think his family's from there. Got down there. Probably run over there on the way out and talk to him. We do, we are in a kind of thing that we do is, it's just like anything, first come, first serve as far as that goes. We get people, what I mean by that is if they sign a contract, whoever's the contract coming in.
Timeline wise?
Timelines wise, yeah.
How many do you have?
Right
how
now
many
we have a contract in Williams out.
Okay.
Foster we've done some commission meetings there. I think they're almost at their final phase. He's doing some of that cost analysis stuff you're talking about. And he's in the process of doing that. And Mercer County, they're looking at more later this year, so that they're not really, the only ones that you really had to worry about would be Foster and Williams and Morton.
And so if there was no one ahead of us and we decided to do this, what's the timeline for implementation?
6 to 9 months. It takes a while. We do a good job. We want to make sure we do a very good job with you. And one of the biggest things that we do for you is yours. Tax. Tax is a biggie. You want to make sure we get all that data. We basically can store all the data that you guys have from day one in our system.
Was GovernSoft?
Never gets rid of it. Keeps it forever.
Did you pay it?
You can make reports
no, that's gonna come
on
up.
it forever.
Oh.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, in fact, you can look on our software, on the tax software, and you can look down and see how it changed over time and who paid it and how much it was paid and by who and what check and everything. Now I don't know if you guys have that ability now, but that's what kind of ability you'll have as you go forward.
Yeah, it seems like it goes back 3 years on some of the reports that I've seen on ag values.
Well, to find out who paid, we can go back to 86.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to look
The
at
different parts of it. Yeah.
How much of the database do you convert?
Well, as far as tax, we can convert all of it.
You do?
Mhm.
Back to 86?
We'll convert back to 86.
Okay.
As far as your tax financials, there's certain things we bring forward and some we don't. And that'll all be in that SOW that I sent to you. It outlines exactly what we convert.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you guys have any other questions?
How are you guys with the mandates the
25.
legislature gives us?
Oh,
No,
the
they're
changes and stuff that
talking about
they do?
doing a new notice again.
That's as soon as we hear about it or we know about it, we start working on it right away. So that when it becomes active, it's ready.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's good to know.
like all that tax statement stuff that we had. Actually, we were actually the driving force at Terry, or was it? No, not Terry Trainer. The old he's tax directors, state tax director. I can't remember his name is.
Ryan Rock.
Corey Fong.
Oh, Corey Vaughn, yes.
He was the one who was kind of pushing for a statewide one system, and he wanted to use Tyler as it because we changed everything so fast, and it was so. Some of the other systems had difficulty.
What's your update process then? Do you remotely access our system?
Yep.
Oh, so it's not a DVD in the mailbox?
No, gosh, no.
Okay.
No.
I mean, that's the way some of them are.
I know, you're right. And some of them actually, this is your software, and they send it to you as a DVD. You got to install it, but no, we don't do that. We actually on site, we set it all up, and we're on site to train. We make sure you guys are doing, you guys are ready to go. And there's options if you want to partake that we come back when you guys do your first, tax
year end.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that we do. Definitely not like that though, as far as updating. Like I said, we're on a very aggressive four times a year, once a quarter, updates, where we have webinars where you guys can go out and watch, and they'll explain what's being updated and what's changing, what's coming. And even if you miss it, you can always go back and review it later. Even if you watch it and you forgot, whatever, they're always recorded and they're always out on the other community. So for you guys to look at later on. So, and it's all access. You guys can access it too if you want to jump in and get access to that kind of stuff. You guys can.
So this was designed as a single entry system, so once you enter a vault, it'll propagate through the system.
Well, that's the goal, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the goal, but that's not always the
Yes.
fact.
In fact, one of the things you'll see immediately as far as your tax system goes, once it's in, it impacts everything. As far as the tax billing, tax assessment, soils, everything's all tightly wound together.
Is there a budgeting and planning section in there?
That's all part of it. What comes with the base product is everything you need. It comes with like your budget is all part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Payroll, we do fixed assets. We add that, but everything pretty much your base. What I'll send you, it'll have a bunch of like the budgeting, payroll, and all that stuff in it. Accounts payable, stuff like that. So
If we have something wrong, like if we're closing books for the month and something's not balancing or something like that,
well, you
do we
wait till
have
next
like,
day.
huh?
No, I'm just kidding. No, you can go right away.
Do we have like just one person that we can go to, like, hey, why is
You know
this?
what we do, in that, because we have actually more than one people. We have a team in Helena that's specifically for the financials. Okay. And when you call, you may not get the same person, but you're going to get the same location. You're going to call, and everybody goes to buildings. Your calls all go to buildings. That's where your support is. So your developers and everything are right there in buildings for the most part. Don's actually in Churchill, but he's for tax, so he's okay. But you call. We do go-to meetings, things like that. We have some. I have a go-to meeting for sales, but I'm not sure what it is. What do you guys use for your support there? Do you guys know? For online stuff, it's like so that we can see what you see.
Mm-hmm. Like Skype or something.
Yeah, we come right in and we are actually viewing the computer with you, and you're explaining what's going on, and we help you through the problem.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just remote access.
Do you use GoToMeeting?
Do you guys do that now?
Maybe with some webinars and stuff like that.
Have you guys done anything like that with these guys? Oh, really? Wow, that'd be tough. To know exactly what you're seeing and what you're experiencing.
Right.
Yeah, we dial in and just like we set up a meeting. It's a two-way communications. It's like we see.
One-time password. They can take over your machine and show you what to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's
strange. Your mouse moving around.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, we do that. We support that. We've supported that way for years.
Travis Palm does that. He comes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, but he's accessing the network through the switch, not that way.
Yeah.
But it's very similar, yeah.
I got somebody in Texas.
Yeah.
I know you're thinking.
Okay.
But what I'll do is I'll go back and you said you 4,500 parcels. or 5,200 parcels. What about your number of people? 2, 3? How many people today access your tax software? Into your side tax software.
At the most,
2 right
2.
now.
Possibly 3 with the tax director.
Yeah.
Okay, 3. That's fine.
And
And how many? You said 35 employees.
Maybe that's original 3.
About, yeah.
Okay.
Population, does that matter?
I already have that. I know how big you guys are.
2268, is that right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Something, yeah.
Pretty close, I don't know if it's right exactly.
Well, it was a pleasure, gentlemen. If you guys don't have more questions, well, I'll go ahead and let these guys go.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are done. Thank you. Thank you for being available. Don, you were a ton of help.
Better go back to the office for a while.
Oh, and the guys got you some stuff here too. So, these are mints. These are pens. They are the.
Oh, yeah.
This is a stylus.
You can't accept.
Does that tell you what is funny is when people do this
Yeah.
and they think that's broken, and it's just it's for your tablet stylus. And you can pick them up at a convention.
As close to a convention as we're getting. Me, anyway.
Gentlemen, I'll leave these reports here for you. Just take a look at them. Oh, wow, you got a mid drawer.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Oh, and by the way, I'm Joe Sorther. I'm sorry, I should have introduced myself.
Your name was on the
Good to meet you, Joe.
ledger.
And usually, because I jumped right in, I usually have you guys introduce yourselves. So those guys that are on the phone know who's I'm talking to. I left them high and dry. They're going to shoot me like that. So, all right. You good? Did you answer all your questions? Are you good?
Yep, I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Safe trip.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will call after the conference, whatever. I let them know that we're ready for them. So.
Are you giving away free pens? Yeah, it's expensive. That's what you said, wasn't it? I think at the last meeting, I think you said it'd be about 170. Yeah?
Well, I thought I threw out 200, but that was just on file.
Oh, I thought there was some prior knowledge.
No, I know the county said they spent 300 on something, but that was the county that gave up. They spent 300,000 on it, then they went back to their old system.
On this one?
No, that was on Microsoft, not on Tyler.
I was hoping you'd be in the new one so I didn't have to walk up all these damn steps.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Bob, you expended some energy you got coming up, but you saved it on the way down.
You ain't got a bad knee either. There's a big difference now.
Down is almost worse.
It is going down.
Yeah.
I just have a lot of experience with steps. There's 58 of them from the basement to the top of my
You
house.
counted up all your old one, yeah.
No, the house is,
That's your, no, oh, the old one had more than that, the yellow one.
no, this one has more. This one's 4 floors.
Well, that's all the way up to the 4th story.
You probably run those stairs 10 times a day. just
I do.
for exercise.
Nice they gave us these mints, but you can't open them.
You gotta pay you first. You gotta pay you first.
You better not have a knife in here because.
Fill the corner.
All the rules for a courthouse.
Oh, right.
You can't have a knife to open it against all the rules for a courthouse.
Haven't carried a knife since I learned to kill with my bare hands, Bob.
I made the mistake of saying that when I went to sign up for Social Security, and they asked if I had any weapons on me. When I come to the building, I didn't think that was fun.
My hands.
Hi, Lynn.
I'm wrong.
Soothing music, part of the commissioner's meeting.
We're waiting for somebody to join the conference call.
Oh, you're on hold there?
Yep. I'm the only one in the conference call.
We're done with this, aren't
Huh?
we? We're done with this, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
What's the deal? I'm waiting for them to answer and call.
Waiting for Bob Mix, I think.
Bob Mix and Kelly Hornstein will call in to this conference,
Oh, okay.
and then we'll be on with them. But I just let them know a minute ago to call in. So just waiting for them. No, 1 o'clock his time, 2 o'clock ours. I was in contact with them about it and I told them that. But Kelly's in this one too, so. Hello?
Hello? This is Bob Mix.
Okay, you're in with the commission right now. I don't have Kelly on the other line though, I don't think.
Okay, I can wait.
Okay.
Or talk.
Or you can go ahead and start if you would like.
Okay, I'm Bob Mix. I'm the owner of GovernSoft. I can talk for an hour, or I can do a 5-minute introduction, as anybody chooses.
Yeah, probably a 5-minute introduction.
Yeah, I think a 5-minute introduction would be fine, Bob.
Okay, great. I'll put it on speakerphone here, see if that works. Might not sound good, I don't know. Can you hear me fine?
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, there's a lot I can say. Both Kelly and I are self-challenged guys. He's a marathoner and a golfer, and I walk 18 holes of golf every weekend. We like to work. We're engineers and accountants. We're not salesmen. We give expert support. I think that's the best thing you can say about us. You can call either one of us at any time. We both work 40 hours a week. This phone is right at my desk. Kelly is probably the greatest expert in the country on managing a North Dakota county. The state tax department calls him. He worked for Richland County for 25 years. He started out administering all their IT and their computers, and then he became chosen the county manager with the auditor, treasurer, tax director, and register of deeds all reporting to him. Every warrant went out with his signature on it. I have owned 6 businesses. This is my 6th business. I don't need the money. I work because I love to solve problems and help people. I'm a worker. Our health was questioned. Now we're getting older, but I think we're both in perfect health. I certainly am. My father smoked and drank 4 packs a day and a fifth of Jim Beam. And if he'd taken care of himself like I do, he would live to be more than 90. He died at 90. So I don't have any known health problems. Kelly and I have worked together for 16 years after Kelly's 25 years in Richland. Richland is 3 to 5 times as large as Griggs. our only extra cost. We tend to give away a lot of freebies. There's no limit on the number of calls, number of cases. We don't even log time by county. We just do our damnedest. And we believe we give consulting level support at no extra charge. A lot of misconceptions were flying around in the county. We own the software, you own the data. Both the software and the data are on your C20 file 01 server. Every night we export the data to CSV files, comma separated value files, and we do that and have done that at no extra charge. I think other vendors would charge extra for things like that. If you're considering going with Tyler, I would suggest that you call the 4 counties that left us for Tyler, Billings, Towner, Ettinger, and Benson, and ask them about the experience and what the total cost was. Total cost should include conversion, training, chart setup, support incident costs and limits, and any customizations that you feel necessary. We also have 2 current clients, Emmons and Bowman. We used to have software innovations, and when they came to us, they said, man, it's like night and day difference. So, that's basically what I would start on. I can talk in more depth about the software and what we offer. But back to you. I'm done for my little introduction.
Did you want to ask about that AI Xbox or anything?
I emailed Travis.
Oh, okay, but, okay, so there's no questions for him.
And then I think just to straighten up the confusion we had about the billing here, I see it was you authorized that we could pay on an ongoing basis until we make a decision here. Is that correct, Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. You can pay monthly if you need to.
Well, that probably isn't even a need, because in the event that we did switch, by the time that happened, the year would be used up anyway. So I don't think that's a concern. I think we'll just, if you will accept it, I think we'll just send you pending the approval of the commission, we'll send you the annual payment.
Oh, that would be great. I think full conversion would take you a good year. I'm just guessing. I haven't talked to any of the people that have done it.
Yeah, I believe you're probably correct.
Yeah.
I guess what brought about this inquiry into switching software was the age of the operating system and the changes that have taken place to ease of operation since your system was put in place. I don't know if the ease of operation outweighs the cost of conversion. That's really what this comes down to, I think.
I'm not really following that.
Okay. The commission was looking at switching software just because the fact that the software, the programs that you're using are based on an old operating system, and as they get older and older, it's harder and harder to get other systems to interface with it, and it makes it harder to retrieve data from that system. And then the other concern was the size of the company and what would be the longevity. Is there a backup plan in 10 years down the road when you decide to retire, or Kelly does? Where do we go from there? So that's what prompted this inquiry, and that I think that will be the. I think that will be the point that we're going to look at anyway. Is where do we go if we have to make a change, or do we have to make a change now, or can we wait till later? Well, at least physically you're in good health.
And mentally. Neither one of us have any health problem we know of.
No, I understand.
If we developed some, then we would make a plan, and we would give you, if we were thinking about retirement, and neither one of us is, I mean, I could have retired decades ago, but I just love to work. If anything came up, why, we'd give you at least a year's warning to find another vendor. If I dropped dead, you probably wouldn't see any difference. The software wouldn't evolve, but Kelly could carry on just fine without me. He, several times a week he asks me questions, and I tell him what the code's doing. He's not a programmer in the base code in our system, but he does write SQL, and he's a quick learner. He knows computers backwards and forwards, and so anyway, if he dropped dead, I would handle his job. I did handle his job for about a year, before he became my partner. Yeah, it's true. Both of us could die on the same day, but that's not likely to happen.
No, I don't think that. It's just in a political. When this is going to go on, I would imagine Griggs County is going to go on for quite some time, and these software purchases are for decades. So it's continuity of services. How is this software system going to continue on for another and change for another 30 years? I mean, conceivably, that's what you could do if you have a system that is adaptable. You should never have to switch again. It should be a one-time purchase. So that's the concern.
Yeah, that's you're wise to do that, and that's exactly why I've been in process of modernizing the code and making it, possible to use on any platform and use the very most modern technology used by millions of companies around the world. We use the Chrome browser, but we can use the Firefox browser and probably the Edge browser. We prefer Chrome, and we have an Apache web server. It's the most used web server in the world. We've converted all of our modules except the tax module at this point. We want to implement them, but our clients tend to drag their feet and scared of change, and so we don't push it any faster than we feel is necessary.
Yeah, and then the other concern is the reports and the lack of the ability to have the reports with a header based format rather than print it out the way they are. It makes it real tough to read any of this stuff. It takes a lot of searching to read a lot of these reports just because of the format they're presented in.
Well, we don't hear about these problems. We would like to hear. We would like to see your specific problems so that we can react to them with specific solutions. You could use crystal reports on our system, and you can run our software from a smartphone or an Apple iPad if you want to. So, anyway, there's a lot more there than you can guess at unless you actually get into the detail.
Okay, that's all the questions I had. Thank you.
Okay.
I think you covered all mine too, correct?
Okay.
You okay with him? You good with him then?
You got any?
Nope, I don't.
Connie? Okay, I think we're good, Bob.
Okay.
All right.
Do you have any questions for Kelly at this point?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyway, you have my phone number. It's on the new menu. We've got it there. If you hover the mouse over the logo, it's at the top of our weekly newsletter. I'm happy to hear from any one of you at any time,
Okay,
even after hours if you want to.
Just not on Saturdays on the golf course.
Well, yeah, it's true. When I get on the golf course, I don't have a cell phone with me.
I'm just kidding you.
all right, thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All
thanks.
right. Bye-bye. I guess I'm hanging up, huh?
Okay,
Yep.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Checks in the mail.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah,
Yeah. So I make a motion that we pay the
annual service.
annual service fee for Melbourne Soft. Because it's not gonna make a difference even if we switched. We would be use up year anyway.
So seconded.
Been moved by John, seconded by Sean to pay the annual service fee, is that what it's called? Maintenance fee
Maintenance
for Govern Soft. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
I have a question on all of this. If you guys are thinking about moving ahead with Tyler Technologies, I was just wondering if by any chance we could have Tyler Technologies come in and kind of give me, Lori, Connie, and Christy kind of a rundown of how their software works, and then we report back to you guys of what we like, what we don't like, and all that. Would that-
Absolutely. I mean, we've got math to do anyway. He's gonna have to give, it's gonna take a long time.
Okay.
This is not
I
eminent.
mean, the first step is see whether or not it's even economically feasible to do that.
Right. And then I think you should talk to some of these other counties and just see how they like it.
Yeah. Well, talk to the
Well,
ones.
drive out there
Talk to the
and-
ones that said he switched, that they switched.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Water board.
Well, what we're here looking for is a letter from the commissioners. What we've run into every place we've gone out there to get this thing moving forward is you don't need any support letters. And when it gets down to the end to get our permit moved forward with each and every department, we get so much hate mail from the no voters, we're having troubles deciding on this. And those hate mails from the no voters should have nothing to do with it. So this time around, I think we're gonna file every support we can get to them to show that there's as much support for fixing this drain as there is against fixing it.
Why don't we just go over their head? They're clearly in the wrong here. This thing has been voted on.
Yeah. And that's a problem. The way the state commission has got State Water Commission has got this system set up, you vote on it, you become a legal drain at the State Water Commission, and then you go ask for permission from all these agencies to get your permits. It's just all asked backwards. And that's why it doesn't work, because as soon as they don't get what they want, the no voters start hammering away at these other agencies. How long did we spend getting Kosher down there that day? Dale, you were with. It wasn't a pretty day, was it? No. And that's because the no voters have been down there campaigning and writing letters.
But see, the people that do that they're politicians. All they're trying to do is pacify the no voters. They don't have the ability to change the outcome of this thing.
It just,
Why don't we use our representatives and senators in this and get some pressure on these people?
right now, I feel that we're closer than we've ever been with the Corps, don't you, Lynn? She's backed off. For the last 10 months, she's been wanting us to reapply with a new reason. There's a comment section on the reason when you apply. And I know the reason that was is the no voters wanted us to change that so we could revote. If we don't have the same application to her as we had to the State Water Commission, they're gonna call for a revote. I refused to do that on that basis. Now she's finally come around and said we don't need to reapply, we just need a different engineer's letter explaining the downhill, what do they call that? She's calling it fill, but it was riprap and fiber or whatever.
Right.
But
I think the next month is gonna tell the most. I mean, she sent this letter, she's been stalling, dragging her feet now since September when
yeah,
she signed for that certified letter.
yeah.
she had 60 days, well, the 60 days is long gone, it's a bit more like 120, 150 now. She did reply that she needed all these items answered. Eric Heyerdahl took it upon himself and he's answered each one now. And we just wanted the township and.
And actually, I called her supervisor between Christmas and New Year's, wasn't it, somewhere in there? And she was on vacation, and 2 days later, while she was on vacation, she called me back and asked me a bunch of questions, and I answered them all. And she said, let's get that in writing so I can put that in the project envelope. And that's when we kind of thought, we should be piling on a bunch of support to go with it.
We got the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Kurt Tompkins has signed his letter, he's good with it.
Health department is off.
She was questioning the width of the drain, and we said that was to satisfy the county. And I guess we just want support documents to back that up.
Where did these technical questions, how did she know to ask these technical questions?
She's an engineer.
I know that, but how did she know to ask those technical questions when you didn't provide her with that information? I smell a rat in the system.
There could be, I'm not saying there isn't, but if we do what you and I talked about on the phone, she's gonna throw that son of a bitch back, and we're gonna be back at rewriting.
Well, let's write her a letter. Let's write her a letter and see what happens. But a good bureaucrat strings you along with always the possibility of
We kind of all, Lynn and I sat and talked about this for an hour one day. This is our best shot at not going over our head, and after this shot, that's where we'll go as political. It's got to come to an end one way or another. But I think we're closer now than we've ever been. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I guess I asked Tom Moll, the lawyer, that too, and I said, when's the point where we go above her head? And if we do go above her head, that person's gonna look, well, here, she asked all these questions, why didn't you answer
And
them?
you didn't do it, yeah. So that's what we're answering in this letter, is
If we
to
answer
make
them now,
sure we
then,
can go.
This is the court you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
right, Tony's her name.
And of course, right now, she asked me to have this letter, what do they call that one? Certified, sent to her, and she called me back because of the security reasons they're having with the pipeline, the cannonball deal out there. So that's fine with me. Instead of hand delivering it, I'd much rather do it this way, give her a day or two to go over it, and then call me back and we'll see where we're going. If we haven't gone anywhere then we've been thinking we should be calling senators, representatives.
Well, first you have to plug the leak in the system,
But
and then take that course of action, because there's something not smelling right here.
But if we have that fight before we send this letter,
No, I agree, send the letter, but I'll just about guarantee it's not gonna make a difference. Then the request is gonna be for more information and more information and more information.
if, like Lynn said, or if we don't fill this request out that she's asked, then her superiors will say, well, you didn't answer her request. So this is how we divide that answer. But our request to the commissioners, I guess, when we talked about this, would be, the one that goes to Carnegie, what number is that? That's a county road, not a township, right? And the other one's a federal aid.
19 is the airport road.
26 is the.
26 is the other one. So what we're asking for is that it will relieve water pressure against those roads where it stands all spring. So it helps save your roads. Then we've got your FEMA stuff for your township. And of course, that was a battle. You weren't there for that, but we had 2 farmers from down there said, no, those roads have never been underwater. So then we showed them the pictures. Well, that can't be.
So you're gonna let it draft it for us?
For you guys, no, I wanted to see what you guys wanted to do. Of course, the slopes and the base, that's supplied to you as the commissioners from the state engineer. So I don't know why she questioned that in the beginning. She questioned the width of the ditch. Yeah.
Again, how would you know to question the width of the ditch?
She has the plans. But I see where you're going, John, but I'm afraid if we do anything about that before we answer this letter, we're gonna go back to reapply, Bob. And then when you reapply with her and go on the bottom of the desk,
Well, I don't know why reapply would take, the information that has been paid for by the water board is their information. There's no starting over, and the permit process isn't dependent on personnel, it's dependent on the information. But let's just send a letter out and see what happens.
Yeah, and then of course, in between the time we started this, we've got just about everybody new at the State Water Commission. The engineer we started with passed away just about right after the vote that we did, Jim Linseth, I think. And he's the one that wanted them separated with a separate name. Well, now the State Water Commission is telling her that it is the main outlet. And I told her, no, they're telling you wrong. That's why Jim Linseth wanted it.
So do you have everything that you're stating here, is this in the form of a letter?
They're working, yeah, Eric is gonna have it done.
No, as far as her telling you what has to be done.
She had a 2-page email we got with questions on it.
I never did see that, but that's.
But
That's what Eric is basing his letter off of, is the 2-page email.
But I mean, there shouldn't be correspondence, verbal correspondence with her, because then it's a he said, she said thing.
That's why
It
she
has
wants-
to be.
Oh,
it has
she
to
So
be-
that's why when she
Yeah.
called me at home, and she was actually not at work, she called me at home and we talked for over an hour, and I answered all of her questions, and she said, I'm gonna request this in writing so I can put this in my file, and that's what we're working on. I think that there's been a little heavier hammer come down on her out there, being she called me when she was on vacation on her own time. It would seem that somebody's telling her, let's get this done.
It's a fine line to string you guys along, string you guys along so you don't go over her head and still be able to reject the project. And that's evidently what's going on here.
But we have to, on our lawyer's advice, we gotta fill out the answers to these questions before we can go over her head. Otherwise, they'll just say you didn't answer her questions.
Yep, I mean, I guess do we have a letter?
Should be done. Should be done, should already be done.
But, you know, it took 6 years to get her to allow the Cooperstown drain to be finished once it started digging.
I went back and looked up when me and Brian started paying on this thing, and our first checks were issued September 28th of 11.
Yeah. So that's the other question, as I was reviewing some of this. That money was done, warrants were issued, is that correct?
What's that?
Warrants were issued, is that how the private individual was able to pay money?
How this works, there's, what is it, 3 different rules that they can file these under?
Yeah, they can be 4 different, there can be a temporary warrant, a permanent warrant,
Okay, and this-
or a temporary statement,
And
certificate
this
of
was
indebtedness,
a petition,
and
this was a petitioner-driven one, and the reason they picked that one is the petitioners pay until the vote becomes a positive vote.
yes, but warrants have to be issued in order to ensure that the money that petitioners put up is safe. And and the warrants are issued with a expiration date and
I couldn't tell you what Mo has done on that.
with an expiration date and an interest rate. And then the warrants can be sold at anywhere less than par up to 98%. So if you pay $98, you get $100 back, when it basically is what that says. But the petitioner's method of doing this only applies if this drain is already dumping into an existing certified drain. The petitioner's method doesn't work on anything else.
Well, this is the one that the lawyer chose to use, and it's the one that is used by most water boards that don't have a large cash flow. And when he was questioned by the State Water Commission why he used it, he pretty much told him that, and they said, yeah, that's the one to use then. So,
But I mean, these are separate
I'm not the
issues.
lawyer part of it.
Well, no, but these are separate issues, but we gotta get some of this straightened up here in time.
And you know, then you were talking about the bond issue, and every drain the Griggs County Water Board did previous to this one, they went to a bond issue right after the vote, and they come up, like Dale told me, they're underwater in every damn drain they built. Every drain they have owes the water board money because they didn't wait and get everything done right before they bonded.
got the copy of the letter that Eric has got prepared yet? And did
I don't think he'll have that finished till Wednesday, because he's gonna send it back to Mo and have it back again.
Okay.
So was there a budget put forth for this drain?
There's a budget proposal that the weighted vote was based on.
An overall cost?
Yeah.
No, but I mean a budget where it laid out the engineering costs, the construction costs, all the rest of the costs.
It's actually been engineered 3 times because of the no voters not allowing easements for some of the ways they tried to go.
Is there a contract with the engineer?
I couldn't say, I don't think so. I think it's,
A lot of this goes back to like 11, 12, when the water board sent out a letter asking what to do with the Carnic drain, whether they wanted it abolished, fixed, or so forth. And that's when us petitioners come forward to this alternative. So when the alternative come, Brian Fieberger checked in with another engineering firm, and it was Houston. And Brian went over pretty much everything what we wanted. They come up with a figure of around 45,000, 50,000. Brian couldn't quite remember what it was, and I couldn't either, but that it's very close to that. And under the advisement of the water board at that time, they thought we should use Renaissance because they're close and they'd save us money. It'd be about half price or a little more. So we've had 30,000 in our head, 30. Everything goes over, so even if we got up to that 40,000, we decided, well, he works with the water board, we'll go with Lauren with Renaissance. We'd go that route. Well, as time went on, we kept getting bills from the water board, and now both me and Brian, Dennis Huggins kicked in 10, but we're sitting at 96,000 on this thing between us. And now the water board,
we're at 36 or 37 somewhere in there. Yeah.
So getting back to Renaissance Engineering and what they've charged for what they did for us so far isn't good.
So the 37 and the 96 were up at $133,000. Is that all engineering costs? It has to be. Nothing else been done.
I think the vote is in on that, John.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
so
I think all the letters and votes and notices and all that were in that price.
TB04 is up 38,399.
38, that's since the last one.
so again,
I called Mo and talked to him about this, and he said the reason he used the type he did is because the county, once it goes to a bond issue, the county gets all their money back, and so do the petitioners.
I'm not a lawyer, right?
This is the advice we get by our water board lawyer and other water board
Maybe you should
lawyers.
find another one.
As far as I can see.
If they engineered this thing 3 times because they didn't go get easements before they started engineering it, somebody needs to give you a refund. That isn't how the world works.
Yeah, part of the problem is they assumed they had the federal aid road easements, and they didn't. And somebody should have checked that out.
And somebody should assume that there's easements?
Yeah.
Really?
There isn't anywhere.
Why would you have to pay for the re-engineering of that if that's their mistake?
That isn't where they re-engineered, it's where they gotta get the construction easement when the landowners won't. Matter of fact, when they moved it over on Allen's for that east end, you thought Allen was gonna go for it, and then all of a sudden, when they had the engineering done, come in and Rose just talked to
You don't engineer until you have their signature in your hand, Bob.
That's right.
You think we go out and build power line and then come back and get the easement later? Really?
No. That's wrong.
So we.
Whose fault is it? It's theirs. Why do you pay for it? I don't get it.
We don't even have a contract with them. We've been writing them checks without any obligation to write them checks.
I couldn't swear to it one way or another if they have a
I
contract.
know, I know. And I know you're acting at the
At the advice of our
advice of
lawyer.
your lawyer. The first thing I can suggest is get rid of your lawyer, because he's put you in harm's way here.
Well, the biggest thing we can hope for now is to get this done with her and get it.
I agree,
Well, that's what I've been working my butt off trying to get it done.
we're not faulting,
everything we do is on the advice of our water board. We don't make any steps forward on this without questioning it.
I know, but there's not a lawyer there's not a third grade kid that's thinking about going to law school that would ever believe that you can pay out $133,000 out of government funds to somebody that you don't even have a contract with, or you don't have a reason to pay.
I guess we haven't paid out of the government money out. We paid 37 or 38 now.
Bob, the way you do this, the $96,000 those guys put in is part of the project, because it's gonna be, they just prepay the project.
They have the option of using that money towards what their payments would be.
That's right, so that's tax money, they just prepay tax money, so the whole $133,000.
They'll get it back to spend wherever they want, or they'll get it back in tax base.
That's not what it reads. There's an ending date on this, and they have to be paid interest, and it's for 3 years on a petition basis. So that's already long gone too. I don't blame you guys, but someone got us into this mess. And if you consulted your lawyer, it's your lawyer that got us into this mess. And guess what?
He's the guy that does this for water, legal drains for a living. So we've been taking his advice.
Well, if he does it for a living, he shouldn't be eating that, because he's not doing a very good job.
The worst part of it is a lot of other lawyers go to him for advice on how to do these too.
Not only did he charge us that $134,000 though, and he wasn't willing even to assess it, Bob. Eric and us, we all had to sit down to assess it. That first engineering firm we got, they were gonna assess it for us too, which an engineering firm should do.
Somebody's gotta do the topographical study.
No, the engineer wouldn't do it because he didn't believe in the whole program. So he made the landowners and the people involved assess the property.
The water board was in on it. They used the old K1A and then they added the new one. And
I know
it's been a fight from the beginning.
But we suggested it, but then Eric and Lee went out and mostly did assess the new part.
Which of course leaves it completely open to challenge.
And then the challenge has never worked right. They were supposed to. It's just.
Are you going to pay
K1A all over again.
Are you going to pay the engineer any more money?
I would doubt if there'll be any more to pay after the letter is written. The new engineers report on the downhill part instead of the
That engineer's report though too, Bob, should have been done months ago.
Yeah, but the new one now is supposed to include the one going down the hill instead of reapplying for.
And you're going to pay him for doing that?
I don't imagine we will.
Are you going to demand the $90,000 back from him?
I don't know how you can do that. It's just as much the other way. We didn't have a contract for X amount of dollars, so how do you demand it back?
The reason I asked that, Bob, is because the taxpayers can. they have the right to demand that money back.
Well, I would just assume that we can get this done and get the K1A battle done, John.
I know.
Guys on this water board have heard K1A from the day the farmers handed it over to them. For some reason, that fight is never going to quit down there. And that's why we did, well, you said the date when we sent that letter out. You guys, you want us to try to fix it? You want us to eliminate it? You want us to legally close it? What do you want us to do? And the only ones that come in were the petitioners.
But I mean, that battle's long since been fought. This is a legal drain. It was voted on. It is done. Only the
permit part of it is what's holding it up. We just got the U.S. Fish and Wildlife one, the letter on that 2 weeks ago now. That's allowing us to go through their land.
Do you have an outline of the information that we need to put in our letter?
You know, when Lynn and I talked about that, and basically the preservation of your roads would be, you know,
I think something short and sweet and just with the commissioner's signature on it.
that's same with the township, is the preservation of your roads, and then I think Eric has got a folder full of the township road pictures, right?
They're all going in there.
Yeah.
Just need your same thing from the township, that so much water being held against the roads. Erosion control.
Somebody needs to show us that that's so. I
Well,
don't.
have you ever driven down there in the
No.
spring when the water's standing?
No.
That road gets beat up horrible, especially right there by Bert Johnson.
I think Eric's got some pictures of that too,
Eric's
his drone on the county road.
Okay.
I guess I've driven down the county road in the flat.
Well-
at the top.
Okay. I mean, I don't go down there that often. I don't know.
Well, we have people live there that tell us that it never went over the road south of the Karnak elevator either, or Roger Kerber's road. I don't know where they lived all those years.
Okay.
So after we get this cleaned up, and we start working on getting the rest of this mess cleaned up.
That's what we're working on.
You know, and
The next step, if we get this, if we can get this passed through real quick, would be to go to bids and then get our bond, pay everybody back. I have an immense amount of interest to bid on it, so I think it's probably gonna come in cheaper. I know culverts have gone down considerably since the first project estimate.
You don't go get the bond until after the bids come in, correct?
Well, I don't think we should, because if it's gone on, you know, well, you looked at it, every damn one they got, they owe money to, the drain owes money to the water board because they didn't wait and get all their ducks in a row, and they bought it for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 less than what the drain cost to build. The one that going around Cooperstown here was $290,000 less than what it cost to build, and that was because of the boring under the highway. And the highway department did pay for everything but the coffer dams on either side, the bore dam.
Will we have a change of engineering staff then also?
Well, from what Chuck told me the other day, John, Lauren and him had a big conversation, and they're probably never gonna do another legal drain again, so.
I know, it seems to be a pretty good retirement program for him.
But he's, I think, between this one up here and the one down there at Silver Creek with the lawsuits going on, it's aggravating for everybody, and it's probably,
Wonder what the common denominator in that is?
huh?
Wonder what the common denominator on that is?
In that
Two
one?
failed rains.
No, that one down there is a
Who's the engineer in that one?
Lauren, but it's got nothing to do with it. It's a pissed off farmer on that one.
Who's the lawyer?
Same lawyer, same engineer.
Okay.
I think on them legal drains, you gotta have an engineering firm that's got their own legal team.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you didn't answer my question. I mean, once this thing is
If we do it
forward
again,
into construction,
if we do it again, it'll probably be KLJ.
no, not again. Once it moves forward into construction, there's still engineering costs involved with that.
Yeah.
All the
It's been
management.
staked out, I don't know how many times for.
Okay. Are we done with that one?
Yep.
So kind of as part of this whole discussion, and I've never been very involved in the water board. I started reading the Century Code, which isn't very titillating, but it appears that we, meaning the county commissioners, are required to have some involvement in this water board. And we have not been, and I don't know if that's because.
Dale shows up 85–90%.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Not that, you need an emotion for that letter, just to have it in, or not?
We almost have to wait until the next meeting. I mean, we're not gonna approve a letter that we're not looking at. I don't know how we can do that.
Well, I thought you were writing a letter.
Either that, somebody's gonna have to write the letter, and then we'll have to have a special meeting, or it'll have to wait 2
We were
weeks.
hoping to get this thing in the mail on the 8th to her.
Well, who's gonna write the letter?
What I get from what Eric has, so, right.
Okay. Then we'll have to look at it. I mean, we can't approve something we haven't seen. I mean, I don't know how you do that.
Because I have to write one for our town.
Okay. And if there's pictures to send with it, I mean, that would be good. I'm not.
I know that township's got pictures.
I don't know if the county, if Wayne has pictures from FEMA.
See if Wayne has some interest.
The ones the township had brought in were all FEMA ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back when, remember when Bert Johnson lived down there and it was right over the road, his driveway, everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it was his name deep across the road.
I don't know if they got any pictures or not, hopefully they do, but.
You know, from that hill there, it was just level over across the.
Right.
And then down by Lionel Erickson's.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we can just get it written, there's no special meeting.
And basically, I think what they talked about is that the county would support it, like preservation of their Bedway Road and the other county road. So,
So, in June and December of each year, and as otherwise required by the county commission appointing the managers of the district treasurer shall report the water resource board in writing the amount of money in the treasury, the receipts, if any, in the preceding period, and the amount and items of expenditures during that period. I don't remember ever seeing anything about that. During the month of January of each year, the Water Resource Board shall prepare a complete statement of the condition of the finances of the district for the past year, and shall cause the same to be filed with the county auditor of each county in which the district lies on or before February 1st next following. Such statement shall show separately and in detail the condition and resources of each and every assessment fund for the payment of project warrant of the district, including the amount and any anticipated deficit and the apportionment thereof. At its February meeting following next, the filing of the statement of condition of any district, the Board of County Commissioners shall examine the statement and make inquiry regarding the same as to determine whether or not the district has defaulted or may soon default on payment of its financial obligations as they same become due.
I think Alan has all those things all.
Alan, no.
We've never seen
Jacobson, but I don't know if anybody knew that they were to be asked for.
That's why I'm asking.
You know.
And you're
But
supposed to
Alan
submit.
keeps each one
That's fine.
separately. Each legal drain is separate in a folder. He keeps it constantly upgrading it all the time.
But what my point is by statute, the county commissioners are responsible ultimately for the actions of the water board because you're not elected officials. And by statute, we are required to be in the loop on this stuff.
And we should have had a. I mean, I've been on there quite a while and nobody's ever
I'm just
brought
saying.
this up.
I know. I didn't know it either.
Well,
I think John brought it up last.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, John brought it up a couple years ago.
And we got one report and that was it.
Right.
It never.
So,
that was in the change of from when we got rid of Dave.
Probably.
Actually, the books, I delivered the books today to the auditor's office.
Thank you. I got the end of the year stuff so that Harold
Okay.
can start the audit.
But see, the water board doesn't have levy authority.
No.
So the reason that you have to provide it all this is because then use the county's levy authority, and unlike another department, the money is sent to you, and it's not, you're not accountable for it. You don't have to return what
I
it's
went back in
left.
some really, really old stuff that I found that was back when the water board was one member. And basically what the water board did at that point was meet one day a year with the road superintendent and see how many culverts they could buy
Yeah.
with the water board's assessment for the county to keep on hand.
Well, judging.
You guys prepare budget?
No.
Kinda. Yeah.
The Water Resource Board shall estimate the expenses of the district before October 1st of each year. Preceding a financial report for the preceding calendar year showing the ending balances of each fund held by the Water Resource District during that year. The board shall send a copy of the budget to the county auditor. Each auditor shall transmit the same to the Board of County Commissioners. The county commissioner shall either disapprove the budget, amend and approve the budget as amended, or approve the budget as submitted. So, that's how the county commission is supposed to
Be
involved in this thing, because ultimately, if something happens and
If we could do what we wanna do, we don't have.
then you've been doing what you want to do.
No, if we could do the if we could do the projects that we'd like to see done in Calgary, we wouldn't have enough money to ever do it.
Yeah, it's increasingly looking like we should probably go back to just buying culverts. The track record of the two projects we tried lately is failing. Why should we keep doing that? If this keeps up.
And I've often thought that that's what we should do, because when you go do a project like, we did those ones over there where you farm by out west there.
Better always? Or-
Yeah.
North of
The
Revere.
township didn't, or the townships and counties didn't have money for the culverts there, so we ended up buying culverts there, and the township and counties put them in.
It seems like it's easier to let the individuals fight about it, just help out where you can rather than to railroad it. And I mean, this project had to be done, but maybe it'll look differently if it ever gets to be completed.
Well, that's our hopes, it will someday be complete. The other one is, that fight will never go away, even if it's fixed, that fight will never quit. I had the one lady tell me that I don't care, I'll fight it with all the money I have until I die. That's the way that fight's gonna go on.
Yeah,
But
but
you're always gonna have them
Yeah.
sick petitioners and amendments, there's people that don't want it, but hey,
I think it would be.
voted through.
I think it would be complete.
$10,000 to not pay two.
Yeah, and that's the same with this fight going on down at Silverkirk. The guy is, there's two law firms there involved in it. And he's spending trust money more than what it would cost him to pay. Yeah, it's.
Okay, well,
Yeah, let's get this letter and we'll get it sent in. And then work on fixing the rest of this.
okay,
I think all the paperwork is in Alan's notebooks for what you're talking about. The
That's fine.
January, but I'm pretty sure.
we just would like to have it shared.
And I've been asking all along, since I've been on there, I've always thought each drain should have its own checkbook and own accounting, but they don't seem to want to do that. So.
What is the budget for the water board?
3 3/4 mils.
That's what it is.
And a quarter of that goes to the Upper Cheyenne.
So that's 72,000.
They take 1/4% off.
We may get to prioritize where that money goes.
Yeah, it is basically just, it's here, okay, we gave you the money, and then we don't, that's it. Other than we have to keep an eye on what is done with the money.
They still gotta do a budget.
Yeah, all the rest of it, but it isn't like the other budgets where money left over reverts back to general fund.
Now, when we're talking about this, you said that soon we can move in over here, right?
Yep.
We own tables, chairs, way too much stuff to store anywhere over there. And they're not bad tables and not bad chairs. Is there anything in the county that could use them? chairs are stackables. And there's, what is there, 9 or 10 of them? Pretty similar to what you guys are sitting on here. The folding tables are those white vinyl fold-up ones.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. But yeah, you just will move in. So what are we gonna use for a timeline on getting approval here before we decide to go to a different plan?
Go to what?
If we get this done and mailed set Wednesday, certified mail should get it Monday, I suppose.
No, I mean, are we gonna allow her to ask for more information and more information?
No,
And more.
this is, we're gonna have to go right from there to the conference call. That's what she isn't happy with.
Okay, at the time we go to the conference call, are we gonna get rid of the mole in the system then and start?
Well, I was thinking we should have the conference call at the courthouse because it should involve probably commissioners and water board and petitioners.
If she asked for a conference call just to finalize stuff, or if she asked for more stuff, I think we need to.
If, yeah, just
need
to
a couple
finalize it, I
commissioners
would be happy to
present.
do it with her over the phone. If it's gonna be more I want, then, yeah.
And there's no budget for this thing, no prepared budget.
Not that I understand. Like I said, we've done everything we do under our lawyer's advisement.
So you won't be writing another check to the engineer, of course, and you know. And someone's gonna have to explain why there was $130,000 in checks written to him after this is over. Now let's get it moved forward.
So there's no way you're gonna have this ready by Friday, Wednesday, then?
Oh, yeah.
Next week, Wednesday?
Yeah, probably like the 8th.
Yeah. Yeah, that should doable. If I get the, hear back from Eric, I talked to him the day he was in Fargo, and he said he'd emailed me what he had the day I talked to him,
Okay.
but it never came through. It wasn't in my spam file, so.
We just assumed you guys were bringing a letter.
He's still working.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
All right, thanks.
thank you.
So I emailed Eric. Send him a copy.
See you, man.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I don't know if he's home or not yet, but.
Windshield. Boy, I can't follow that.
Okay, so Marcus was supposed to summarize what exactly happened to his windshield.
No, I don't have a problem with the windshield. I was just trying to follow the story. I get going to Finley and then Sharon, but then they ended up in Tulna and then back in Macville and then they caught him in Hamer.
I don't think that's. I think what happened, they ended up going through Finney and had a Macville Beacon on 15.
Tulna and then Hamer.
Yeah.
I don't think he went to
No, he didn't backtrack. I don't
go to Tulna and back to Macville and then go to Hamer.
I watched the video. I don't think that happened. But he ended up in Gleason's yard, another Gleason's yard over in Eddie Cohen.
Odin Gleason?
I don't know which one it was.
Doesn't matter. Okay,
But he had a
The
bunch
county will
of.
get reimbursed for that at some point when the guy, at some point.
well, it looks like the insurance company paid
The
it.
insurance company is gonna pay it, it looks like. Bob just wanted to make sure that you guys see
Yeah.
this and approve it before.
Approve it.
Well, that he's can get a new windshield.
Oh,
And then it'll be submitted through the insurance and it looks like they will pay for it, so.
okay.
It's just to let you guys know that he will be purchasing that, so.
Tax equalization meeting?
I was supposed to put it on the first meeting in February. John had told me to do that, so.
Just remind us when it's gonna be.
What's that?
Just to remind us when it's gonna be. When is the meeting?
Which one?
Tax equalization?
It's usually in April, right?
I think it's in.
Mid-April or
June.
20th? Oh.
I think it's in June. Like but you only have one meeting in June, so it would have to be that meeting.
townships, those meetings are already set, aren't they?
Yeah, that's.
I think so, but I don't have a list.
Is it like the end of April?
March or April, something.
Yeah, I don't have a list, so I'll get you guys a list or whatever, and then any townships that don't have an assessor, then we'll have to do kind of the same thing that we've done every year, where a commissioner goes to represent the county.
But are you sure this was supposed to say tax equalization meeting? Wasn't it supposed to say tax director meeting?
No, you said tax equalization meeting. You said bring it up the first meeting in February.
I just, it doesn't ring any bells with me, that doesn't mean much.
You said it in January, the first meeting in January. You told me to bring it up.
You spotted a rocket scientist earlier or what?
Tell him that was on his resume that he sent us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, the township officers meeting is March 15th at 1:30.
And that's before the assessors meeting.
I can't remember why you had told me to bring it up now, but so it'll just be the first meeting in June. Your first meeting in June.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. I mean, I thought this had to do with the duties of the tax director, and there were things that had to be done. Remember in February, and we were going to meet.
Yeah, I think that was what tasks were supposed to be done, right?
Right. Although, and we're going to talk about it February 1st because they were due like February 10th.
So there's deadlines for certain.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember that sheet with deadlines that we
Yeah.
said, okay, the first deadlines were in February 10th or something, and I told you to bring this into our attention February 1st, but that's not tax equalization, that was the
Tax
of the
duties,
director.
yeah.
Oh, because on my notes I have tax equalization meeting. Bring up the first meeting in February.
No, it has to do with that list of,
That's right, the tasks and duties for the tax.
yep, duties of the tax director.
Shit, when would that have been in December we did that?
There we go. January 6th. So in February, we need to send the BX spreadsheets for the previous year to the state. Schedule equalization meetings.
There,
There we go.
that one.
Mail rough draft of the equalization meeting schedule. Give deadline for any changes. Advise equalization workers in the local newspaper. And the NDAAO winter workshops in Bismarck, and all exemption applications are due. So it was, it's a bit, no, it's the, there's more than that, it's the business of the tax director, so we're gonna discuss it the first of every month, according to this scenario that was, yeah. So then what needs to be done now is we need to schedule the equalization meetings and mail a rough draft of the equalization meetings to the county or to the townships, and give a deadline for any changes in the schedule. And then we have to advertise them.
But it's just one tax equalization meeting, right? We just have one.
Yeah, the townships do their own, they
Yeah.
schedule their own.
Yeah, they schedule their
That's the
own.
one we're supposed to schedule, is the township meetings.
You're supposed to schedule the township meetings?
Well, that's what,
That's why they're always on the same day like that. We're supposed to be.
yeah, I think that's right. In the past, the county agent has done it, but
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be that way. I suppose if we could let her do it again, but
Well, it's because she's runs the
Township officer.
Township Officers Association.
yeah.
And they don't have to be the same day, but, because we have them different days depending on whether our assessor could be there or not, because if he did multiple townships, he couldn't be everywhere the same.
Yeah, I thought it was a specific day in the century code that they had to be on.
We've always been off a day
Have you?
because our assessor wasn't present,
Okay.
because he had 2 other townships and he couldn't be 3
Yeah, I thought it
places at
was
once.
the third Tuesday in April
Yeah,
or something.
that's what I thought.
Do you know when the counties has to be?
After that,
And
Because I thought, if I remember right, it was a few years ago when Cindy was still here. You had it, I want to say the last meeting in June, because then you guys were going to continue on. If you guys didn't approve it, you guys were going to go through, and I was certain that it was in June. So then I was kind of wondering if it was first meeting in June or last meeting, but you only have one meeting in June, unless we have to have a special meeting to have it on a certain.
But that's not the meeting we're trying to schedule right now. We're trying to get scheduled the township equalization meetings. Give them a reminder, a heads up. So,
So that would be what Megan does.
well, I mean, I haven't looked at whose duty that is, but it's certainly not the tax director's duty. I mean, it's not listed anywhere in their duties. So, tax is tax, and that involves with either the auditor or the treasurer. Megan just did it because if she'll do it, that's fine. She just did it because she was the secretary to the township's officers. So, and we did it last year. I remember doing this last year. Then we sat down and once we had to schedule, we sat down and decided who's going to go where. Yeah.
But I think it was Megan that placed the advertisement in the Courier
Yeah.
saying which day they were.
Yeah, because then she gave me the list after I asked her for it to
Yep.
do that for you guys.
And what happened? I mean, first you have to mail them a rough draft of the meeting and see if it'll fit with their, and then get that back and then advertise it. So can you talk to Megan, get that done?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's all right if Megan is willing to do it. And then we can look at it from there and assign people to go to the different ones.
Okay.
And then, so we need to have the same, when's the first meeting in March?
No calendar.
Hold on, I got
Third, I think.
it. The 3rd.
No county maps, no calendar.
I know,
Life is rough.
I'm slacking.
So anyway, for the first March meeting, here's when you need to have on the agenda for that.
Okay. And then I do have that we will be accepting applications for tax director until next meeting.
Have we got any?
I've gotten a call, but nobody that's applied yet.
Did it go in last week's paper?
It went in last week's paper, yep.
Okay.
And I had forgotten to put it in the other counties, so I messaged them right away on Wednesday. It got it into some, I don't know if it got into all for 2 weeks, but I know that it will be in all of those other counties for at least 1 week. And then you'll open, or you can have those by the 17th.
Okay.
Social service building, why is that on here?
That I had a note to put that on this agenda. We said put it on for next meeting's
I
agenda.
think we were just gonna talk about selling the darn thing,
Oh,
but I don't know.
yeah, we don't need to cross that bridge yet.
So, nothing?
Not yet. I guess we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves and getting moved in, I think.
Old courthouse, new courthouse. Did you go look at the hardware over there?
I did, it's all there. Mostly, I mean, where I went, it was him. The woodwork and the
Courthouse?
courting was done.
It is. Is he working in there, or is he
He's
done?
been there this week. I've
In
seen
there, I didn't
his
see him, he's got red paint, didn't he?
The white.
White.
Oh,
Did you get that folding panel door in?
I didn't go down there, I was,
The last time I looked, he didn't have that in yet.
I
But
had,
he had one guy helping him, so he was doing the woodworking and another guy was hanging doors.
Yeah, and I called Hope Glass, they're gonna come out next week and field measure all those vision lights and get them installed in. There's quite a few doors, I guess, that still need glass, isn't there?
no, I didn't make it, I had urgent business in the auditor's closet.
Oh, looking for a light switch?
Oh, they knew where it was.
You didn't like where it was. Don't like where it was. So on that note, can we have her contact an electrician and move it? I got up inside here and looked and on the opposite wall of the ceiling, it's in conduit, so it's nothing more than going to the box and
Dropping it.
draw some conduit down and drop it down into the wall.
Yeah.
I've never
Let's
been-
just table it till.
I've never been a fan of the results of peaceful protest, but I'm starting to appreciate it. So I'd make a motion that we authorize the county auditor to have her headlight moved to the west side of the closet door.
Been moved by John to authorize the auditor to get the light switch in her closet moved. Is there a second to the motion?
Well, I suppose I'll second.
It doesn't matter. I'll pay for it myself. Gotta stop.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Rod,
I,
Sean,
Nay.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried.
Ouch.
I haven't seen it yet.
what, you wanted unanimous approval?
Stop pestering him to change his vote now. I'm on the new campaign.
Anything else on new courthouse, old courthouse?
Oh, yeah, I talked to Schultz this morning, and he said that by the end of the day today, they probably should be done, other than testing the system, the backup system, because there's no propane, and setting the
Outdoor units?
outdoor units, and he wanted to know,
I think we should wait till next summer.
okay. I didn't tell him, I didn't know.
John, you guys? I don't know.
Yeah. They're gonna need some fill and stuff, I'm sure. They just flop them on a pad now, they don't have to.
They'll be kittywampus later, won't they?
Yeah, he found some discrepancies in the plumbing, a couple of that he had to fix, but he was gonna get a list together. He fixed them already, but there were some things that were done wrong during construction, and but he didn't seem to.
Okay. Anything else?
So, have we decided how we're going to go about moving in here? It needs to be cleaned up again, I suppose, now, or it never was cleaned up. Was cleaned up.
What?
Did you guys have any more thought on the painting that was brought up at the last
I'm
meeting?
just kidding.
That's not mine. That,
Craig will paint if we ask him to.
I mean, it's, you can tell what color it is, and it's a little bit thin in places, but it's not our living room. I don't know. It doesn't look bad to me, but I'm not technical on that kind of thing. You're welcome to look.
How about the touch stuff? Tell the girls to do it.
I don't know. I'm not in charge of that kind of stuff.
We
We just go around nicks and dings, sort of touch up.
There's some holes and stuff that got fixed. There's gonna be one more hole for that light switch.
There'll just be a cover over it.
It's the duct tape.
She doesn't appear to change her mind too quick, because I don't think we'll have to move it back.
So I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't make that call. I don't know.
And also with moving people in, there might be some dings and stuff like that. But
Yeah, we can look at that afterwards, I suppose.
Did we hire a cleaning service?
We talked about it.
I thought we did. We didn't do a very good job.
We actually talked about hiring Brian to do it.
Yeah, that's
didn't we?
why Brian said he could do it or something, or Brian didn't hear.
I wasn't here, I don't think, for all of
Oh.
that discussion, so
Maybe we should talk to them and see if they wouldn't do it.
I think weren't they, was Lori running
Yeah, I think it was Lori.
she was gonna see, they wanted to be paid, in addition to what they.
Well, we're
No,
gonna
absolutely.
hire a cleaning service. We're not gonna do it.
Yeah, no, but they would, that was what he proposed.
That's what we did, over and above what the time they put in now.
Okay,
Then it'll get done.
then it'll be nice.
Yeah. They do a good job, so.
And they can touch up the paint too. If there must be some paint somewhere.
Did they ever get a riding vacuum cleaner?
I don't know, is that the plan?
Yeah, it was in an original bid of this thing.
Really? I don't remember that at all.
One more instead.
Can't we buy 5, 6 of those little
Roombas?
Roombas?
The one goes around by itself.
There'd be big ones like that too.
My wife throws the chairs up on the tables every other day and come home and it's done.
Yeah, they make big ones like that too.
Nice.
Yeah, just.
Does it dock itself when it's done?
Goes home, charges itself back up again. You want it to go, you can program it to schedule, but she didn't do that. She just goes over, hits the button, and goes to work.
Steer.
It won't go over the step.
Oh, go down on my bed.
No,
Oh,
it's got a
Sensor.
cliff sensor.
What does it do for a dog?
By the looks of YouTube, it gives cats rides. You see on YouTube where cats are riding on top of those things all the time.
Yeah, we had one at my dad's, and the cats rolled on it all the time.
Is that right?
Yeah. They loved it.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but.
Future business?
I think the only thing we have is, where's something else? We're going to talk to the sheriff about.
Yep, he's
office
coming next
deputy
meeting.
And,
Yep.
and the overtime.
and the tax duty's the first one in March, I suppose.
Yeah, the duties of the tax director. Tasks of the tax director.
I won't be here next meeting.
Oh, God.
Ron in charge.
Did you want to bring up hiring freeze?
Oh, that's right.
say what?
I think that because of the downturn in the state money that we're going to see over the next biennium, I mean, we're definitely going to have less money coming in here. I think we should make some provisions for that. And I think we should have a county-wide hiring freeze. I'd like to put it on the budget fund agenda for next.
Future business. We
Future
could even
business.
wait until Troy got back,
Yeah,
you know.
two meetings from now.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I mean, I don't know if that's overkill, or but again, we you know, we're definitely going to face a reduction in funds coming from the
But there's not gonna be anybody hired in this budgetary cycle now.
Well, no, let's just put it on the agenda and talk about it.
Okay,
For 2 meetings?
Yeah.
for March 1?
March
3. Okay. Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
Been moved by Ron to adjourn. Is there a second? Second by Sean. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 4:16. Next meeting is February 17th at 1 p.m.